Talk about some, hi Calandra, thank you for coming. However, I decided to go with another candidate. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. You're watching CTV. My name is Calandra and I'm back with another video. I'm so sorry it took so long with this. Like, y'all could beat me up. Y'all could beat me up. I filmed it before, but I ain't like it. I feel like it took long for me to get to the point. Hopefully this time I get to the point. And then I was missing footage and stuff too, so I have to just do this over, and life has just been lifing, so my apologies. My apologies for taking so long with this video. But anyway, this is how I got fired from the Kratom shop on my first day. Let's get into it. If y'all happen to see my outfit change throughout the video, I gotta go to work soon, and it took me forever to get ready. So I'm probably not gonna be able to finish this all today. But anyway, so after I quit that job, I was working at a grocery store as a personal shopper. If y'all were keeping up with my videos, that's what I was doing. And then after that, I kind of just disappeared on YouTube. So I applied to this place that I actually had an interview with before I started working with the grocery store. But that place ain't never get back to me. But the grocery store did, so I just ended up working there. Even though the place that I applied to was a Kratom shop. So I applied to a Kratom shop, and I thought that would be more my vibe. You know, it just seemed like it was more chill, laid back. Oh, you're just talking to customers about Kratom, and you're making sales. And, you know, I'm more of a sales associate type person. Like, I've been more in the retail space, like, you know, selling stuff, talking to customers. Like, that, more of my jobs have been like that. I just thought that job would suit me more. And I thought the interview went well, but it is what it is. I just ended up working at a grocery store because they never hit me back up. So I saw them again on Indeed. I've been applying for jobs, didn't get anything back. So I applied to them again because I saw that they were still hiring. Red flag. Why y'all still hiring? What's the problem? I applied again. But this time the whole process was just completely different than the last time I applied to them. So let's get into that. So I did an application just like before. Somebody got back to me, and it was like one lady I was speaking to throughout this whole thing. So I'm gonna name her Anna. This lady named Anna reached out to me like, hey, I'm interested in interviewing you. What day are you available? And I think it was on a Thursday, I believe, that I had the interview, because in a video that I posted like months ago, I was like, oh my god, I have an interview, but it's a Zoom interview. I don't know if y'all remember that. Yeah, it was them. I had a Zoom interview. I was nervous, you know, some of the questions I was like kind of like stuttering on. I don't know, I was just real nervous because, like, you know how some interviews like are not really like the most laid back type of thing. It's just like they're trying to like really see if you're a good fit. Like, that was the vibe that she was kind of giving me. I didn't think I passed the interview, so I was just like, whatever. But I gave her my best answers. So then 2 days later, I got a call to do another interview. And last time I applied to them, I didn't have to do a Zoom interview. I just did an in-person interview. So that's why it was a little weird. So this time when they called back, I did the in-person interview again. I'm just like, okay, I'm excited. Whatever. I get to do an in-person interview. The person I interviewed in person was a different person, but it was the same person that I talked to my last interview prior to going to the different job. Does it make sense to y'all? So yeah, she was like an Asian girl. I'm gonna name her Ashley, I guess. But yeah, I interviewed with Ashley, and you know, she was cool, but again, they're kind of giving me the same vibe that they're very particular on who they hired and whatever. But she asked me a question about what experience could you take from your last job to this job that will make you a fit for the company. And the answer that I gave her, it seemed like it really impressed her, right? So I was just like, well, I worked at an adult store, and I gave people enhancements. Okay. And with working in an environment like that and giving people enhancements, you have to be very mindful and careful about you have to be careful about the person's age, because certain people can't. I mean, you got to be a certain age to go into the shop in general, but we have to do a lot of age checks. People are older, so you got to be careful not to give people like strong stuff, like stuff that's too strong for them, because it could really give the somebody could unalive if they take something that's too strong based on health conditions and their age and stuff like that. So you got to be careful with that. So it's not like I'm a doctor or anything like that, but we have to be mindful of what we're giving people when it comes to substances, just like what y'all are doing, because it's a Kratom shop and they sell kava and stuff too. So yeah, that's like basically what I gave her. Like, of course I said it differently, but yeah, that's the answer I gave her. Her face was just like, lit up like a Christmas tree. Oh, okay. After that, of course I asked questions and stuff, and then she's like, okay, I'm gonna give you a tour around the store. You want a tour? And I'm just like, of course. Usually when people say that means you got the job. She gave me like a little tour. Like, she didn't show me nothing special. She's just like, oh, this is the bar, because there's a bar that they serve the Kratom to. People could literally, it's like a cafe kind of. Like, people could go in there, get drinks, and drink Kratom while they're there. Hopefully that makes sense, right? And I thought she was just gonna show me like more in the building, like show me where the bathroom is, because they had like other back rooms back there. So it's just like she only showed me like stuff that I could already see. So she was just like, yeah, that's the bar right there. And then over here, there's the syrups, because there's like a little syrup section where, you could flavor your drinks. And then she gave me this brochure. And it was like talking about the products and stuff. So I'm just like, okay, cool. I take it. We go our separate ways. I go home. I'm telling my husband, like, oh my God, I got the job. I'm excited. Like, I get to work at a Kratom shop. And he's just like, yay, like, we're happy. Throughout the rest of the day, I went with a friend. She had a photo shoot. So I went with her. And this girl said she was going to call me back a little later to tell me if I got the job or not, for sure, because I was actually supposed to start the next day. Yeah, it was like real quick. Could have been a red flag? Duh. Maybe. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh shit, this is a little ring light. I'm hungry. I gotta eat something before I go to work. Okay, anyway, it's getting late. Like, this girl's doing like some type of evening shoot, and it's getting late. Like, she's supposed to let me know what's going on, and they close at like 9 o'clock. So I'm just like waiting, and then I decided to call the shop, and they have like a couple of different numbers. So I'm just calling all these numbers until I finally get a hold of somebody. Somebody answered the phone. I believe it's Ashley again, and I'm just like, hey Ashley, this is Calandra we interviewed earlier. I just wanted to check on the status of my hiring process. And yeah, I said my hiring process because I'm sure this was my job. I was claiming it because I was really excited. I thought it was gonna be a cool job. So she was like, oh yeah, we'll let you know like later on tonight and whatever. And I'm just like, okay, thank you. And then in my head, I'm just like, later on, it's already 7 p.m. But I'm just like, okay. I go home, didn't really sleep because I guess I was nervous. So didn't really sleep. I did doze off a little bit, and then I got up around like 11 a.m. And then I opened my emails and it says, welcome to the Kratom family, something like that. I'm not trying to give away the place, but basically the email was just like, I got hired. I still have the emails too if y'all want to see. So yeah, I got hired, and I was I was ecstatic. Like, I'm just like, okay, I'm hired. Like, yes. So they had sent me a whole bunch of emails, like onboarding stuff through emails and stuff. They had a thing where I had to fill out my information, just kind of like when you get hired from a place, but then right after your interview, you go in and you do your that W-2s. You know, when you show them your social security and your driver's license and all that, but they had it through the email. So I was trying to go do that, and some of the questions were a little tricky because it was like onboarding and then a couple other things, and I'm just like, okay, this is a little tricky. So, but it also had a day for me to like have it done by. It was like maybe 4 days later I had until to finish it. You know, I just did what I could and then dozed off a little bit more. And I didn't have to be there till like 2 p.m. So around, I would say 12:51, like around 12, you know, I got back up, got ready. My hair was in its complete natural state. All I did was put on some foundation just to like make me look a little bit more awake, and then I put on an all black outfit because that was like their uniform. Just wear whatever you want basically, but just all black. Put on an all black outfit and I was on my way. The place was only like 15 minutes away from where I live, so it wasn't far at all. It was in a nice part of town. It was like downtown, not downtown San Diego, but downtown somewhere else, okay? Went there, brought my water bottle with me, and I just went in and I went to go talk to Ashley. So as I went in, I noticed there was a group of people in the corner. They were all wearing all black. And there was this tall guy that was like, they were all just cornered up, but they weren't saying anything. So I didn't really know what was going on. So I just went up to Ashley because that's who I interviewed with. And I'm just saying, hi, you know, whatever. I greet her and she's like, hi. And she introduced me to the tall guy that was talking to everybody. I'm going to name him Reese's Cup. Very petty because that's like similar to his actual name. But I'm going to name him Reese's Cup. He was from the UK. He had the accent. Am I gonna do the accent? I don't know. I'm not good at it, so I don't think I should. Anyway, yeah, he had an accent. So you know, me and him, we introduced each other to we introduced ourselves. He's like, "Hi, my name is Reese Cup. I'm the training manager." Never heard of a training manager, but whatever. He's a training manager. And you know, he's just like, yeah, go have a seat or whatever, blah blah blah. So I'm just like, cool, you know, I smile, I greet myself with Calandra. And he's just like, oh, yeah, I would go get you some water, but it seems like you already have some. So, yeah, whatever. And he could have gave me some water. Like, I had an old-ass water bottle, but it's cool. I already look like I stick out like a sore thumb. I stick out like a sore thumb. Stick out like a sore thumb. Because everybody else has a nice fresh cup of water while I have this old water bottle. But I'm just like, whatever. I go sit down and, you know, I wait with everybody. And we're just not really speaking. We just chilling. Because he's like, you know, give him a minute. So we do. So he comes back and, you know, he introduces himself to everybody. God, what's in my throat? He introduces himself to everybody. He's just like, hey, my name is Reese's Cup. I'm going to be your training manager. And, you know, just introduce, like, I would like y'all to introduce yourselves. And he introduced himself, and we just go in a little circle. And I was like the second to last person. And so everybody's just like, you know, this is my name. This is where I'm from. I've been in San Diego for however many years. And just little stuff like that. Like, somebody said his zodiac sign. I'm a Gemini. You know, I just gave myself like a basic introduction, just like everybody else. You know, I said, hey, my name's Calandra. I'm 26 years old. I was 26 at the time. Or 27. I don't know. But this is my age. I'm from Virginia. And I've been in San Diego for like 4 years, something like that. And, you know, that's it. Like, it was a basic introduction just like everybody else's was. And then after we all introduce ourselves, he's like, okay, let's break the ice. Literally, that's what he said. Okay, so after we do our introduction, mind you, it was a group of 5 people. And some of y'all might think that's kind of a red flag, which it is low key, now looking back at it. But they also have a building that's like a block away where they did I mention that already? Where they have where they sell the products. Like it's more like, oh, they're selling different products for people to try that's based on Kratom, while the location I'm at, what that I was at the time, was a cafe. So hopefully y'all are catching my drift. So I was always like the third. We went in this order, so I was always like maybe the third person that went. So there we go. We had did our introductions, and now we're playing Two Truths and a Lie. So we went in that same order. Everybody's doing their two truths. It's like basic little stuff, and yeah, that it was cool. It was fun. It was a little vibe. So then I went and I said my. Do I remember what my two truths? Okay, so my one lie was that I had 5 cats. And nobody was kind of guessing except for the dude across from me. Mind you, him, nobody really has too much relevance in the story, so I'm not going to give them names, but he actually got hired for a different location, like a different area. But he got interviewed and is doing a hiring process in the area that I was in. So, yeah. Anyway, he was just like, usually if somebody says a number, that means it's a lie. But yet nobody was guessing it. So, okay. So eventually, like, after everybody went, I just told them what the lie was. And when I said I had 5 cats, Reese's cup reaction was kind of like, 5 cats? You know, like shocked. Or just like, you know how people just be hating cats. So, whatever. He went after me. And I forgot what his two truths and a lie was. But one of the lies was I hate cats. But I guessed it. But when I was like thinking about what the lie was, and I guessed something, I said, well, I know that I hate cats part has to be true because of how he reacted. And I was like joking with him, but how he reacted when I said I have 5 cats. And so the lie ended up being that he hates cats. I don't know. Was he trying to pick with me? I don't know what that was about, but that was the lie, that he hates cats and he's just allergic. He doesn't hate them, but he's just allergic to them. So after all that, he hands us these packets. The packets were huge, okay? It was like a whole packet based on the company and all the products and everything like that. So I'm like, okay, he training. But anyway, before we even get into it, he tells us to open our phones. So I also want to blame a disclaimer. I was not on my phone throughout this whole experience, okay? And I will give y'all more context later on, but I was not on my phone. Yes, my phone may have dinged a few times, and then like I looked down and saw that people were messaging me. So I ended up silencing my phone, and that was that. Anyway, yeah, he told us to bring out our phones and download 3 apps. It was one app about store updates, one app about communications, and one app about attendance and all of that stuff. Yeah, we're going through all that. He's showing us a few things on how to use these apps. And then I did get a little lost because once we were on the whole time off thing, I had to put in time off because of my parents were because my mom and my sister were coming within the next 2 months to visit me from Virginia. A couple people got lost. I'm not the only one. I'm just like, oh yeah, how do you do this or whatever. So, you know, he caught us up, and after that, that's when we went through the packet. The beginning of the packet was just kind of about like behavior and stuff like that, but not like store policies. The policies were actually in the back of the packet because I was just like going through the whole thing, like not really going through it, but you know, skimming through it, but not really reading anything for real until, you know, he started actually going over stuff. So he was just talking about teamwork, attitude, little stuff like that, you know, just basics. So that was on that part of the packet. And then we started talking about Kratom itself. It just got right into it. It just gave us basic facts. He goes to a pause, and then I raise my hand, and I'm like, because I was just thinking about my car, right? Because I'm like in downtown in a certain area, not downtown San Diego, but like another downtown area. And I wasn't sure if I parked in the right spot. So as he reaches that pause, I raise my hand. I ask him, "Hey, where do y'all usually park at?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, we park in that parking garage across the street." And I parked like somewhere on the side of the street, past the building. But yeah, so I parked past the building. So then he's like, "Do you want to move your car? We are gonna have a break within the next 20 minutes." And I'm just like, "Okay, yeah, I'll wait till the break," because I didn't want to seem like, I wasn't engaged, paying attention, or I missed out on anything. So he gives us our 20-minute break. I, of course, go to my car and move my car across the street. That was my whole break. And a couple other people moved their car as well because they were parked who knows where. So I was the one who spoke up and was like, hey, where do we park at? So yeah, I go ahead and move my car, and then we meet back up, and then we start going over the packet. And it's just like the sun is like, whoa, the sun has moved at least about a good 4 times just now. Okay, so we go back to the packet, and he's talking about Kratom and all the good stuff about Kratom. He's going through it. And, I'm listening. We are listening. It was pretty, interesting to learn about this stuff. Before even going to the orientation, I did prior research, just a little bit more research about it. And of course, it was through YouTube and TikTok and stuff. And y'all probably like, oh, you did your research through social media. But don't underestimate TikTok. You can learn a lot on there. So, I did my research, and, I saw some good things and some very, very bad things, like alarming things about Kratom. And as he's going through it, and maybe I should have been more patient and really listened and see if he would have got past that part. But as he's about to reach the part where he's talking about KUOD on it, hopefully I can say that on YouTube, but KUOD on it, he's just kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. He's not really getting into deep detail. So that's when I asked a question about it, because there were some things that I saw that people have been unalived from taking it or from being addicted to it, which is kind of shocking to say the least for something that's like, a natural supplement can be so powerful. But yeah, I think at least like 7 people were unalived in the United States for taking it. So yeah, I asked that question, and he gives me a pretty decent answer. Well, he's like, yeah, if you're basically taking it 7-8 times a day, like it's caffeine or like a drug, then yes, of course you can OD on it. And also, it's the extract that people are taking, and people are taking it in uncontrolled ways, like taking it through like a smoke shop and all of that, while their products are, tested and everything like that, so you're getting the proper source, all that stuff. So yeah, it gave me some reassurance of what I was doing, because I have, prior to this interview, I have never tried Kratom myself, and I don't think I want to, because I have other supplements that I enjoy, other green supplements that I enjoy. So he's just basically telling us like, yes, it can be addictive, but it just depends on how you take it and all that good stuff. So yes, it can be addictive, and it's easy to come off of it, which I don't know, my research was kind of telling me otherwise. I mean, depending on how you take it, like if you were like really, really addicted to it, then yes, the withdrawal symptoms are harsh. But he's basically like, the withdrawal symptoms are not that bad. But I guess it depends on the person and how much they took and how much they're taking and all that good stuff. Going over more stuff about Kratom, and then I'm looking in the packet, and then further up I see stuff about kava. So then I asked like, oh, like what is it? Is it the same thing? Are they part of the same family? And he was just like, no, they're completely different, and they have different effects. And I'm just like, oh yeah, which one do you like more? And he's like, oh, I like Kratom more. And he's like, kava is more so an alcohol replacement and all that stuff. So yes, I'm asking questions throughout the whole thing, and I don't know, maybe I'm asking them too soon before he can really answer them, but at the same time, I feel like I'm not wrong for asking these questions because I'm trying to get more details out of the whole thing, because this is people's health. I'm selling these products to people, and people should know what they're buying. I should know what I'm selling, so I have a right to ask questions throughout the whole orientation, and I'm asking the most questions, and I feel like I was the most engaged throughout the whole thing. He's telling us how to sell it now, basically not to say that it cures anything, not to talk to people like we're doctors, basically. He's just telling us words that we can use when talking about the supplement to people. It's like, you can say it alleviates, it alleviates, it does that, but you can't say cure. And I'm also like, okay, we say helps with, to make it a little easier. And he's like, yes, of course. So we're just writing down words to use instead of cure, because that's like the cuss word. You don't want to use cure. Mind you, throughout this whole time, there's no customers coming up in there. And I was surprised because it was a Saturday. And I don't see no customers until around that time. We're going over all this stuff. I see two men walk in, and I could kind of hear a few things that they're saying. They're basically asking like, oh, what is this? Like, what is this? And there's a girl behind the bar that's talking to them, and she's basically like introducing them to it and all that. I don't remember if they bought anything. I think one of them had got like a little cup of tea, and they were just sitting down for a little bit. I would think like they would have more people, but maybe they're at the other location. And this whole thing was so long. Like, it was long as hell. And usually when I'm sitting for a long period of time, I tend to be a little fidgety. So hopefully, I don't know if that gave him the wrong message, or it made it seem like I was uninterested. But I was very much paying attention. But I'm also locking eyes with him a lot, not in a way that y'all would think, but he's just kind of like, he's talking to everybody, but I feel like he's constantly looking in my direction for some reason. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know what kind of impression I'm giving off or whatever, but I'm just listening to everything he's saying, and I'm participating. So I don't know like what he expected out of me for sure. Then we go over the age limit. But before then, after those two men come in, then I see another couple people. It was like two ladies and one child. And, I see them talking. I see them talking to the lady, and she ends up giving them a drink. And so we talk about the age limit. He was like, the age limit is 18 and up. However, I guess kids can walk in, and as long as they don't suspect that adults would give a child one of their products, and it's okay. Because I was kind of wondering, and he addressed it too, but I was kind of wondering. I didn't say nothing, but I was kind of wondering like, those two ladies came in with that child, and I don't even think they finished the drink inside the building. They kind of walked out. So yeah, apparently come in with an adult, but you have to be 18 and up to purchase a product. Well, adult store I used to work at, kids can only be like downstairs, okay? And we have to age check for certain products, but kids cannot be upstairs. Like, there's an upstairs and a downstairs. The upstairs, I mean, it's all kind of like rated R, but like downstairs is a little bit more clean. Like, it's not like really anything crazy, not a lot of, I don't know. It's more so like clothing and lingerie. And then you go upstairs, and then there's a bunch of rated R things. So yeah, it was just something interesting that I had to point out. Like, we started going over like the strands of Kratom just a little bit, and then after that we go on a 25-minute break. Mind you, we sitting in there for like 6 hours, about 6-7 hours, and we're not given like a real break. Like, not even a 30-minute, not an hour. Like, just sitting there hearing him talk the whole damn time. So I'm hungry at this point. I ain't eat all day. I ain't drink no coffee, no nothing. I barely slept. So I'm just like, what can I get in 25 minutes? Because there's nothing around. Like, everything that's around is like restaurants, like pasta restaurants and all that. And I think there was like a farmer's market, but it's like way down the road, because No, actually, no, it was a Saturday. The farmer's market is Friday. But yeah, there's nothing around for real besides restaurants. So I'm just like, where can I go real quick to get at least a quick bite to eat or a drink or something? And then I see this cute little cafe that I go to sometimes, and it was like around the time where it was like the Barbie movie was popular. So I'm there. There's like the little Barbie thing where people taking pictures inside, and it's packed. And they had it all decorated and stuff. So I'm like, oh, of course it's packed because of all that stuff going on, and it's kind of popular on TikTok. So I'm like, hopefully I could get my stuff in time. So I go ahead and order like a muffin, and I order a matcha latte. And my muffin came out right away. Within like 2 to 5 minutes I got my muffin. So I'm just eating my muffin good, waiting for my drink, my drink didn't come out. And then I'm checking the time, and I'm like, oh shoot, it's almost time to go back. And then it was time to go back. So I ended up having to just leave the building and coming back, but I was still going to get my drink. um so I go back to the building. I see two of my potential coworkers outside. They're talking to each other. I'm like, hey, I think it's time to go back. And they're like, oh yeah, you're right. So we go in, and everybody's standing up by the bar in a circle, and he's passing out the flyer. So he hands me a flyer, and I'm just like, oh, I already have one because I was given one the day of my interview. So I'm just thinking that me being dumb, like, I was a little slow right there, I'll admit. I thought he was just giving it to us, but he was actually going over it. So once I see that everybody was going over it, I see the little brochure right there. So I just go ahead and grab one and catch up with everybody. And then we start sitting back down in the chairs. Right before we really get into it, I talked to him real quick, and I'm like, hey, I ordered something from this cafe. Can I go get my drink real quick? And he's like, ugh, they're so slow. Like, I thought he was like sympathizing with me, but I feel like maybe that made me look bad because like me going to get my drink, I may miss out on something. But anyway, I go back and get my drink. It's still not ready. So then I had to go to the barista and be like, hey, what's going on? Like, and I'm not like one of them impatient ass people that give people a hard time. I'm never like that. So I'm just like, hey, I ordered this latte. And then she's like reminding the people that are doing the drinks, like, hey, she ordered a drink. So I'm just sitting there waiting, and it's been like maybe about a good 5 minutes. It wasn't that long. So I ended up getting my drink. Then I come back immediately to the building because it was just like a block away. It was not like a far walk at all, probably like a good 2 minute walk. So I ended up back at the building, and then they're going over the strands of Kratom a little bit. So I didn't really miss too much. And then he starts to go over reviewing all the stuff that we already talked about before the 25-minute break. So she's like, yeah, I'm gonna ask y'all review questions. However, he didn't take the packet from us, so we were still like looking at stuff as he's about to start going over questions. And he basically asked everybody, because there was like 5 people there, he asked everybody 3 questions. And we can basically have our thing open, but not like skimming through it when he asks us stuff, but we can like skim through it real quick and have it in front of us. So he's going in the same order he went in all day, and then it was time for me to answer my questions. Everybody got like at least one question wrong for the most part. I don't remember if anybody got them all right, and if it was, it might have been like one person, but everybody got at least one wrong. He then asked me some questions, and it was like stuff that I asked about, like questions I asked him throughout the whole thing, like, is it addictive? And of course I answered it right. And then he's giving like he's acting real animated, like he's somebody asking us like the questions for himself, and he's like playing into a character. And mind you, he's not boring. Like, he kind of kept us engaged throughout the whole time. Like, he has like how do I explain this? A sort of charismatic personality. So I answered that right, of course. And then he asked if you could take it with other medications, and I'm just like, consult with your doctor. And he's like, oh man. And the third question, I forgot what it was. It was something about the strands or the type of kratom, and then I got it mixed up with something else that we went over, and because I got the question mixed up with something, if that makes sense. Like, you may think that somebody's asking you something, but they're asking you something else. Because I thought he was asking me about the strands of it, but he was asking me about a specific type of kratom or something like that. So yeah, I got that one wrong, and of course he's giving us the answer after we get something wrong. So then we're going over the strands of it, and that part was honestly a blur to me. I know there's like 3 colors, like green, red, and white or something like that, but as far as like all the types of names and stuff, that's like a blur to me now. So we're going over that, and then after that, like, it was it. Like, that was the whole day. And he was like, yeah, we got 5 days of training. He asked everybody if we wanted to try it, kratom ourselves, and everybody's like, yes. There's only one person in the whole group who has tried it before. So after that, they give us options on what kind of kratom to try and what's popular, what's stuff that people have gotten before. And they all tell us about the one that's really popular. So of course we all get the popular one because we don't know really what to get. Then they showed us where the syrup bar is, and I tried it I just tasted a little bit without any syrups in it, and I'm like, oh my god, that is disgusting. I have to show y'all what the bottle looks like, but it was the most bitter thing I've ever tried in my life. It was very herby and just bitter. Like, even a THC drink would taste better than that. Okay, so yeah, without anything, it just tastes like straight herbs. So of course we go to the syrup bar, and we're asking him like, oh, what flavors do you usually get? And he's like, he gets like orange and vanilla. So I'm just putting some orange in there, putting some vanilla in there. I didn't put like too much because I didn't want it to be very syrupy and have a bunch of sugar and stuff. And I think they were like, one of them was sugar free anyway. It tasted a little better. It still tasted very, very herby, and it wasn't like easy for me to drink it, but it was better. It was better for sure. So before we all leave, we gather around in a circle again, and he's basically, saying his goodbyes, and he's like, yeah, make sure y'all put in y'all availability before you come in tomorrow, because it's 5 days of training. So yeah, we all say our goodbyes. He's also talking to one of the coworkers on the side about something about his schedule and all that stuff. So we ended up, leaving. I go home, and I'm just excited. Like, I'm just telling my husband, like, oh my god, like, I'm about to be working here. This place is so cool. They're really training us. Like, actually try, like, how you start a job and they throw you right into it. We're actually training and going over stuff before actually working. However, there is one thing that I need to address, something that was kind of weird. Before you usually have an orientation, most jobs, if not all jobs, will have you come in and do all of your paperwork, your W-2s and all that stuff. All that stuff that was in the emails, he didn't touch base on that at all. And I would think that would be the first thing you do before you go to an orientation and all that. That is actually very weird and very much of a red flag, because who's going to do all that through an app or through the internet, unless it's a remote job? Name a company that does. Let me know, because that is a little weird. So, I'm trying to drink, and I'm just like, do I feel anything? Do I feel anything? And I'm not really drinking a lot. Like, I may feel a little bit of an uplift, but it was nothing crazy. So, yeah, I'm just laying down, about to take a nap. Then I get a text message from Reese's Cup. That's when things just went to hell. He texted me talking about I could put the messages up here if I still have them. Talk about hi Calandra, thank you for coming. However, I decided to go with another candidate. Sorry to tell you this. I don't even remember everything he said, but he's basically like, we're not going to continue with you. After I believed I had gotten the job, already started the job, and haven't even done anything yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just real weird. And I was just like in shock. Like, my jaw hit the floor. What do you mean you're going with somebody else? Like, what the hell did I do? So I call him because I want you to, like, I really want you to say with your chest, like, tell me why you're not going with me, and because that's just kind of weird, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't do anything. Like, I didn't have a chance to work yet. So what do you mean you're going with somebody else, or saying that I'm not a good fit? But yeah, I call him and I'm just like, "Hi, so you're going with somebody else? Like, what's going on?" And he's like, "Hi, Calandra. Yes, I'm gonna have to go with somebody else because I just don't think you'll be a good fit." And I'm like, "How am I not a good fit exactly? Like, what did I do wrong? I was in the orientation, you know, I asked plenty of questions, like, what do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, I just don't think you're engaging enough." And engaging? Like, what the heck? Like, what do you mean? And then he's like, "Yeah, you were kind of on your phone and you just didn't seem like you were interested. And I had to ask the girl at the counter and she could vouch for me." And that girl, like, what do you mean? Like, she over there at the counter all day. What are you even talking about? And I'm just like, engaged? Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm the one asking questions and giving input the whole time. You know, I was paying attention. I took notes. What do you mean I'm not engaged? Like, if I wasn't engaged, I would just be sitting there staring into space. And I know I ain't do all that. Like, I would be sitting there staring into space, not writing any notes down, not asking any questions, not participating. I did the stupid game that you started everybody with. Like, what the fuck is, like, what is he even talking about? So yeah, I was livid. And then he just kept saying the same thing, like, yeah, I know this is something that nobody wants to hear, but I just don't think you're a good fit and we're gonna have to go with somebody else. And he just like going into it and I'm just like, wow, like, wow. And he's just saying the same thing, and I hang up the phone because I'm just like, I just can't believe like I got fired the first day. Ain't did nothing, like, ain't get nobody no attitude, ain't have no type of experience. Like, even a few things that I mentioned, I was not on my phone. That was weird. Like, you gonna say I was on my phone? Like I said before, I was not on my phone texting no damn body. Like, that's rude. Like, who would just be on their phone while you're in an orientation and somebody talking? Like, that's not what I would do personally. Like, okay, then maybe the drink thing, me going to get my drink, is that what it is? Like, I had no idea what to say, like, what to think. Like, it could have been a few things, but it's just like, damn, like, do I just have to be perfect to get picked? Like, what kind of person you looking for? I digress. And then like in the whole orientation, you're just like, we all go through things when nobody's perfect and all this stuff. It is just like, you made it seem like it was like really chill and non-judgmental, and that's how y'all do. Yeah, that's how y'all do people. Your job don't even seem hard at all to do. Anybody can do that job. Be for real. Like, I worked at an adult store. I had to memorize so many different things, and I was top salesperson for like 3, 4, 5 months. You know what I'm saying? And I got treated so well that they did my schedule any type of way. I was off Saturdays and Sundays because I was so damn good at that store. And y'all won't do me like that? Like, are you serious? So then I texted him. I'm like, "What's your HR number?" And as I'm texting him, I'm waiting for him to respond. He taking forever to respond. So I called the store and I'm just like, "Hey, who's your HR?" And I believe it was like the girl who interviewed me. I forgot what name I gave her because it's been so many days since I, hit record to talk about this story. But yeah, I asked her. She's like, "Oh, we don't really have an HR department, but you can email basically the lady that was sending all the emails to me prior to this thing." So yeah, she was like, "You can email her." And I'm just like, "Okay, thank you." And I hang up the phone. And then he texts me and he gives me HR's number. And he's like, "Oh yeah, they're closed on these days and call between these times," or whatever, whatever. So I'm just like, whatever. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up, okay? Like, I probably done changed my outfit. Y'all probably done seen like 6 different outfit changes. My time management has just been so off. But anyway, let me start where I left off. So in the midst of all of this happening, my husband was right there witnessing it. And I was just like devastated for real, because I was like really excited to work there, and to hear that I'm not moving forward after I done got hired is insane. And he, he gave me his opinion, and he was just like, maybe they had somebody that they knew already and decided to go with that person over me. I personally feel like that whole orientation was some type of trial period where they're going to weed out certain people, which I just think that that was real weird, because you could literally just do that in an interview. Like, just pick your people who you're going to hire, and then, for the ones that y'all are not interested in, don't bother with them. Like, don't hit them up anymore. So, yeah, I just think it was like a complete waste of time, and I was so upset. So, yeah, I ended up emailing the lady that sent me all them emails, like the W-2s and stuff. Like, she's like, I guess, behind the HR, but she's not the HR department. So it's just been a huge back and forth. Like, I've gotten so busy, and after all of that happened, I ended up getting hired at Walmart a week after. But I still feel like I wanted justice, and I wanted to, at least speak my opinion on how I was treated, and speak up for myself, because I just think the whole situation was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't really no real clarity, because him saying I wasn't engaged, it just did, I don't see how I wasn't engaged when I was participating the whole time. So yeah, it's been like months, back and forth, like I wasn't able to get in contact with the HR lady. Like, she was on vacation, and a whole bunch of other stuff just took place. Like, I could show you all the emails. It's just a huge back and forth. And then we finally scheduled a phone call, and I missed the first one, and then I ended up rescheduling, and then we finally talked. So I wasn't really expecting a phone call. I don't know why. But yeah, I was driving on the way to get something to eat, I believe. And I got a phone call, and the number was recognizable. So I answered, and it was like a whole nother lady from HR. And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry that I've been so busy. I had a lot of family stuff going on and all that. And I'm just like, cool. She's just kind of like, so what is it that you wanted to talk about? And I was just basically like, yeah, I just felt like I wasn't treated fairly throughout the hiring process of your company, because I wasn't given a fair chance to even work, and I was told that I wasn't a good fit, when prior to being hired there, I had so many similar experiences that could make me a great fit for the job. And I just think I was misjudged, or I don't know if it was a racial issue or what, because I mean, the hiring manager or whatever he was like, I don't know if he was black, but he was like mixed or something. He had like light skin. He didn't look white, but he had like light skin, kind of lighter than mine. And then he had like light brown curly hair. So I don't know if that was it, or maybe, he's looking for somebody. Maybe pretty much he's just looking for somebody who ain't like me. Maybe San Diego people, they have like a certain aesthetic on how people, they're very, very like extra whitewashed. And I don't want to put race on something, but they have a certain way of acting. Like, they're very preppy, stuff like that. And I'm like Southern. I'm from Virginia. So I don't know, maybe that could have been a thing. But she was just like, no, it's not, definitely not a race issue. He's never shown any signs of racism, and we have like our reasons. Like, she was just kind of going around, with everything I was saying, like not really giving me an actual reason why they do the things that they do. And I'm just like, well, I feel like that whole thing was like some type of trial, because why would y'all like be so quick to hire so many people and then want to tell some people that y'all not getting a job? And she's like, well, we have different locations, and they had like, it is an at-will company and we're in an at-will state, so they're willing to, hire anybody or fire anybody whenever they can or whenever they want to, or somebody could leave, which I understood that. I understand California is an at-will state. And, she kept saying, like, what can I do to solve the problem? I could offer you a job at a different location. And the locations she's giving me are like 40 minutes to an hour away from where I live at. And I'm not going that far for a job that's minimum wage. Because let me be honest, it was minimum wage and probably has like commission or some type of percentage, but you have to make a certain amount to get it. Basically, is what they were telling me in the interview. But it was $16 an hour, which is minimum wage in California, while my Walmart job is like 17, and I started at 17. Now I'm making a little bit over 17, but I was making 17 at Walmart. Then she offered to write like some type of representation letter, like a letter basically like, recommending another job for you, like recommending you to any job or whatever. And I was just kind of like, I'm still trying to like say my point. Like, I just feel like it wasn't fair, and I honestly feel like I wanted to sue y'all or take it to court, but I knew I couldn't take it to court because I don't think they would follow that type of case, or I don't think I would win anything from a case like that just because it's an at-will company. But she was like pretty much offering for me and the hiring manager to have a Zoom call so I could get his side of the story. And it wasn't really much for me to say because I was just basically saying my point, like, and that's what she kept getting it around, like, hey, like, I just feel like it wasn't fair at the time that y'all hired me and then fired me for pretty much no reason and didn't give me like a really good reason. I just thought that was a shady practice. And she wanted, to do like this little Zoom call, and I don't care to do all that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's not really too much I remember from the phone call, but that's kind of what it was. And I don't care. I just didn't care anymore, to be honest. I cared, but I didn't care. I was only mad because I feel like that would have been a cool job for me to have, and it would be suitable for the type of person that I am. And I ended up working at Walmart, which caused me a lot of I would say mental health problems, but stress. And I've been through a lot working there. And I worked at 2 locations. Like, I worked at this one location that was like closer to me, and then it closed down, and now I'm at another location. And the previous location was like real ghetto, a lot of stuff going on, and I will have to talk about that in another video. But I'm just like, damn, like I wish like I could have worked there, but at least at Walmart I'm getting proper benefits and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know what y'all think. Do y'all think it was shady? Do y'all think it was weird? I never had anything like that happen before. Like, yes, I got fired before. Yes, I got fired like just starting somewhere, but it wasn't like during orientation. It's never been like that. Like, that is crazy. But hey, I don't know. And I did also write a review on Indeed when I saw the job listing pop up again, talking about how shady they were. And then I have never seen them pop up ever again on Indeed. And she also said something like, the city of San Diego had came into our store and asked us questions about our business practices, and I was wondering it was because of you. And I'm just like, I had nothing to, I have no idea what you're talking about. But I mean, if they did, I hope they learn something from this, and in the future, they don't keep leading people on to think that they have a job just for y'all to be like, no. Yeah, hopefully I explained that right. It just, yeah, it wasn't too much on the phone conversation. She was just kept trying to offer certain things, and I don't know. I mean, she was real nice, but at the same time, you were kind of getting around the point and not really saying what y'all could do in the future to improve in doing, and what y'all could do in the future to avoid this type of issue, because it wasn't right. And I'm glad that I at least spoke up. I mean, I feel like I could have done more, but I'm glad that I at least said something and kind of fought for my cause a little bit. But maybe it wasn't worth it, because maybe they had other shady things going on behind the scenes, or a certain way that they treat people that work for them, because why are they always hiring anyway? And that's a red flag. Like, no job should be hiring 24/7. Like, your crew and your team should be solid to where y'all not constantly looking for people. So it's something going on with them. And they are a small business, so I mean, I hope they get it together. But I don't wish too much well on them, because I don't wish well on nobody who does me dirty. And maybe that's why, like, everything was so weird, because of how much of a small business they were, because they only have like a few like franchise places or a few little stores, and it's small. But that doesn't mean y'all should be shady. Like, for y'all to be a small business, y'all should, be doing the best y'all can to not be shady to people, especially people that are trying to work for y'all. Like, at least give people a proper chance. Like, I didn't talk to one customer. I didn't do anything. Like, y'all could at least saw me work first before y'all were just like, no. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video here. I'm sorry for my inconsistency. I haven't posted in months, almost a year it seems like. And I miss this channel so much. Like, I miss it here, and I will never leave y'all for that long ever again, unless I just quit YouTube, which I don't plan on doing anytime soon. I have a lot of stuff to talk about. We gotta catch up. Like, we really gotta catch up. And I have a lot of content that I want to post. But yeah, I should be posting videos every week, but y'all can also follow me on my TikTok. I post almost every day. Instagram, I post every once in a while. And yeah, yeah, it feels kind of new to be here, but yeah, I will see y'all in my next video. Peace.